Shalom and shalom all. Pray everyone is doing well. I just wanted to come on and talk about some things that I was meditating on that dropped in my Ruach, my spirit, earlier today, this Yom. It is January 1st, 2025 on the Gregorian calendar. I pray everyone is staying safe as things ramp up in this captivity that we're in. But I remember not too long ago, a sister had a teaching, and she was she was giving a word that the Most High Yah had given to her, and it had to do with reverencing the Most High. And the analogy that was given, which is so fitting, well, the analogy she gave had to do with the courts of, like, say, a rulership, a kingship. For example, in England, we know, that's a monarchy. So she gave that example. And she talked about that again as the Most High had given her some understanding and a word to relay about this. I thought back to that because I knew this is something that I'm definitely not doing in the way that I should, and I'm being transparent. And I'm sure many of us are not moving as reverent in the Most High Yahweh as we could and should. And so as he's giving me this understanding through his Ruach, I'm relaying it, being transparent, because we all fall short of the glory, the kavod of the Most High Yah. And so none of us are above teaching and learning in this life. So what I had in my spirit, I had the wording that had came across, and this is something that I'm working on, but the wording was petition that had come across in my Ruach, my spirit. And the analogy that I was given was in relation to the courts, the judicial system here where I'm at in the western part of the world. The judicial system, is the checks and balances, as I'm sure is the case throughout the world. There's laws and governing bodies to ensure those laws are adhered to throughout the world. So when I received that word, petitioning, I also got the understanding of the phrase, and we hear it so often, especially me. I was a big fan of law shows like Law and Order, cop shows as they call it, homicide, life on the streets, and all of those type of shows. You know, I still feel like I missed my calling to be a lawyer, but I digress. But anyway, so I'm very interested in those kind, or was interested in those kind of shows. So many times in those shows, the lawyer is saying, "May it please the court." And so when you hear the word please, the word plea is in the word please. So in essence, they're making a plea, making a case. They're representing their client, and they're making a case for their innocence. Thank you. The Roach, I'm just letting the Roach just use me and continue to talk. But it's all about the revering of the court system. Specifically at that time, it is the reverencing of that judge by saying things like "Your Honor," you know, "You're standing." Okay? These things are taking place in a court of law. And I don't know if that's still the case, but many times they make you swear on the Bible, in the Western world at least. And I believe actually it could be in some other countries. I believe Parliament in England has done that as well. But they want you to swear as if giving allegiance to them, that court system. But we, as set apart believers, we have a higher court system that we have to adhere to. And so when we say, "May it please the court," I'm coming to you, Abba. I'm coming to you, Yah. Can I make this plea to you? Will you please do this or that on my behalf? Will you save my family? Will you provide me a job? Will you take care of me? Make sure that I'm safe, I'm healthy. Will you bless my brothers and sisters in this truth? These are the examples that I'm giving. But this is, again, all about petitioning to the courts of Shamayam, which many of us specifically say that wording in our prayers. But do we really do that? Tehillim, Psalm 10:4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Elohim. Elohim is not in all his thoughts. So that scripture right there points to what I'm saying in reference to the judicial court system of this land. They don't seek after Elohim, but they want the reverence. And if they don't get the reverence, then guess what? You're in contempt. So that could mean you have to pay a fine to the court, or you might even get jail time, depending on how severe it is. So when we don't give reverence to the Most High, the spiritual courts, we're in contempt. And again, I say this word is for me. We're in contempt. We're showing contempt when we do that or don't do that. And I'm thankful right now because in 1 Corinthians 4:5, therefore judge nothing before the time until Yahweh come, who will bring to light the hidden things of darkness and will make manifest the counsels of the hearts. And then shall every man, and of course woman, have praise of Elohim. So I'm thankful because when I read this scripture and meditate on this scripture, it's telling me Yahweh is going to reveal things and will make manifest the counsels. See, this word counsel and judge that I said earlier, that was in the beginning of the scripture, it's again tying in the fact that it's about a spiritual court system. These are terms that correspond with the hierarchy of the judicial system of the court of Shamayam. And so he'll make manifest what's in our hearts. He'll bring to light the hidden things, which he did for me today with this, and reminding me, you're not where you need to be in me on this. You better get it tight. And all praise to the Most High Yah for revealing his truth always. And we have to move in humility to receive what he is relaying to us, what he's trying to impart in us. And so many of us, and as the set apart of Yashar'al, we're waiting on this in Isaiah, Yeshayahu 11:11, the first part of this, where it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left. So yeah, we want to see this. And many of us are tired. We're ready to go. We're so sick of the captivity. We're so sick of the so-called black on black crime, the backbiting, the inner turmoil in Yashar'al and beyond. We're just tired of all the mess, all the stuff. And we want Abba Yah to come get us. We're in the second time. We're part of the second time where he is going to recover his remnant. But if we don't get these things down, if we don't get this understanding down in us and correct these things, we can forget it. It's not going to happen. Not at all. See, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. He is not going to put up with what he put up with the first time around in the first Exodus. And even then, if you think about it, he only put up with things so much. But they lost their lives several times. messing around with the Most High Yah. With the snakes and what was the other thing? The quail, I believe it was, they were eating. They were getting greedy. And this was all happening in the wilderness. They weren't satisfied with the manna. No, they weren't satisfied, even though they weren't going hungry. And even now, we're doing the same thing. We want somebody to rule us rather than strengthening our relationship with the Most High. We're so set on things, and again, I'll say it again. I've said it before. We're going from churchianity right over to Hebrewanity. We're making that transition. The only difference is we know who we are as a people, but we're still bringing that same mess. You think he's going to keep dealing with that? Of course not. No, we're going to be found lacking, and he's not having it this go round. So this is definitely a word, like I said, for me. And I am going to meditate on this word. I was listening to a live earlier, and shout out to my EriKiYah, my sisters. And it was on Connected in Spirit and Truth with Sister Malaka Araya. And one of the sisters read from Proverbs 6, starting at verse 15, and I'm going to do so as well. Therefore let me start with verse 16. These 6 things Yahweh hates, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaks lies, and he that sows discord among brethren. Those things right there are very serious. And so we have to examine ourselves, Yashar'al. We have to make sure that these things are far from us. And we have to exemplify the fruits of the Rawak. And it's difficult sometimes because people will push you and test you, especially nowadays. Many folks are being used by Ha-Satan as their inner being starts morphing from what they chose to inoculate themselves with several years ago. And as portals have been opened up, things of that nature. So the darkness has been here. I know I have spoken on this some months back. I believe I spoke on it. But anyway, I'm gonna share this again. This was a word I received March 21st of 24 at around 10 a.m. And it reads, as I was sleeping, I heard this word. And then it wasn't a deep sleep. And the word goes on to say, many are not going to be ready for what's coming. That's what I have in parentheses. They will say, quote, peace and safety. Then will sudden destruction come, end quote. That's from 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The destruction is sudden to them, but it has been happening. And by this point, I woke up. My judgment has been being poured out, but many have been desensitized to it. Now they will no longer be able to avoid it. My word is truth, and the word truth is capitalized. Reading 1 Thessalonians 5:3 from the Berean Standard Bible, or Berean Study Bible, While people are saying peace and security, destruction will come upon them suddenly, like labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. I thank the Most High Yah for giving me that word. I feel so privileged to be given anything that He's given me, and I'm so grateful. And I never want to take those things for granted. I want to end with another scripture in Proverbs, and there's so many nuggets in Proverbs. But this one is from chapter 16, verse 6. By mercy and truth, iniquity is purged, and by the fear of Yahweh, men depart from evil. So that's what we need to keep in the forefront of our walk. The fear of Yahweh. Fear meaning reverence. We must revere our Abba Yah. We have to keep this in the forefront of our minds and move accordingly. Think about it like this, and I'll close. We're inborn, and we have an innate need to want to please our parent, as children. It's important for them to be proud of us. And oftentimes throughout our life, we may have been trying to make our parents proud in whatever way, shape, or form. I'm not saying all, but some. Maybe this word applies to you where that's concerned. But it's the same principle. He's our Father. I want my Father to be proud of me. I don't want him to be disappointed. And even if you may not have had the best relationship with your parents, now you have a parent you can have a good relationship with. So why wouldn't you want to make them proud? Why wouldn't you want to make him proud? He's the one that matters the most. I pray this word is received with love and understanding, because time is of the essence, y'all. On that note, thank you for joining me once again. I truly appreciate y'all. I never set out to ask for anything of any of y'all. Y'all already know that. If you're led to give, to Yah be the glory. May you receive tenfold. But I will leave the links where you can donate. But also, I have an email. Please reach out. I would love to hear from y'all. If you need prayer, encouragement, what have you. Let's come together as a body of believers.